Well, after talking for 10 minutes last night, I'm surprised that I actually have more to say. One thing I know I said is that sort of middle section of the first set, maybe somewhere after the dogs up through Wingsuit. I think I said it wasn't very memorable. It was more like, that was probably a bad phrasing. It was more like I didn't really remember it. I get a little bit caught up in the sights and even the smells at these shows, and then sometimes, I know it's not the ideal thing, but the sounds become almost third. Like it's off in the background. Like even as I was watching the sunset during Wingsuit, it was like I was more visually focused than I was with the old ear holes here. And I don't know what was going on with the McGrupp. Turns out it was my very first McGrupp too. That caught me off. So that caught me by big time surprise. I did not know that was my first McGrupp. I felt like I got a McGrupp way back in '03. Or even, yeah, but no, not the case. My first McGrupp. I guess I'm just always looking at the most common songs played that I have not seen, with Fee still being number one. Hold your head up, technically, but Fee being number one. Still no Fee, Esther, Colonel Forbin, Mockingbird. I don't really go to shows looking for those. So, but Fee could happen any day. I did not know that I was chasing McGrupp, though. Unknown. An unknown chase, and there it was. So, and then, oh man, I almost don't want to say that I enjoyed the Soul Planet more than the Ghost, but even on a re-listen, I did. Oh, and then to get back to that first set, the Wingsuit the McGrupp was excellent, too. There's a lot of room. There's a lot of times in that song where you could make mistakes. It's a long, complex song. There's some changes. It's not a real basic song, so there is plenty of opportunities to make some mistakes, and there were very few, if any. So very impressed with the McGrupp on a re-listen. Kind of wish I had that one back. It seems to happen every show. Back in the fall at the Nutter Center, I want that my friend back. Now I want McGrupp back, and that is very unlikely to happen. 37 shows in, first McGrupp, still no Fee. 10th Ghost, and while I do not remember all of the other 9s, I would have to say that this one would probably be the number one Ghost. And then, as I was moving over from one section of the lawn, sort of over to the complete other side, I went from like far Page side to far Mike side. A kid went down. I say a kid, more like a young man. Anybody that's 10 years younger than me is a kid at this point. And it appeared he was having a seizure. There's plenty of people around him helping him out. I saw the medical staff on their way as I was walking away. So I hope everything turned out okay there. Hope it was just a seizure. I mean, I don't mean to say just a seizure. I know seizures are not, it's nothing minor. It fell down on the concrete. Just hope everybody's all right there. That was a bit of a, you just hate to see something like that. You see, maybe the worst thing you see is somebody that looks bored. And I saw a little bit of that. I do a lot of people watching. I like to look over not only at the crowd as a whole. The skyline was nice, There was a lot of light, a lot of daylight for that first set. That's a little surprising. And then, it appears if you've attended the show, you are now allowed to vote on .net. And I don't know. For me, I can't speak for everybody. And obviously being at the show is the main event. Couch Tour is there. It's a bonus. But for me, it's much easier to focus and actually listen to the show and stay tuned in while I'm at home on Couch Tour than while I'm at the show. So while I understand what they're doing there, I don't know if that's quite the right choice. You're going to get a lot of really highly rated shows, I feel, if you're only taking ratings from people that were there. So it might be a little misleading, I suppose. And last night, very high rating from what I could see. I chose not to vote. I'm abstaining, I had a lot of fun, obviously, I don't know. The second set, I don't know. And then why did I prefer the Soul Planet? While the Ghost, we got around that 15-minute mark, I guess it was. Somewhere around the 14 to 17-minute mark of Ghost was like prime Ghost for sure. But then, the before and the after, while good, maybe not great. Like I think I said, I felt like it had crescendoed about 3 times. I don't necessarily know if that was the case. Whereas Soul Planet, while it took a while to get going, and while you definitely want to get past all the Soul Planet stuff, once that jam got going, somewhere around the 14, 15-minute mark, was just like kind of peak Soul Planet there. Basically the first big peak. And then just sounded absolutely amazing. The whole band as a whole. The entire band as a whole. And then we have, then it got a little bluesy after that. Trey and Paige both kind of kicking in on that. And then by the 21-minute mark or so, for the next few minutes, it kind of had this Zeppelin feel. Like Zeppelin fast / stealing time from the Faulty Plan. So I gotta say, I really liked all of that while I was there, and that like kind of cat sounding howl at one point in the song. I was really digging the Soul Planet, and I don't feel great about saying that. I don't want to get on camera and be like, I really liked Soul Planet, maybe even more than A Very Great Ghost. But that is just kind of how my ears were hearing it. I don't know. So I think that about covers it. No, did not get the 6th Buffalo Bill. Like I mentioned, 10th Ghost. Very good one. First McGrupp. Happy with that. Allowed to vote on .net. Oh, yeah, the 46 Days in Destiny Unbound. While I said, I don't know where I was, man. I think I was just kind of caught up in the whole environment, and they were okay. Nothing there grabbed me. There was times during the Ghost where the glow sticks were wild, the kids were wild. I was up in the family section. You just got to go with it. You got to be like, yeah, you're going to be a little distracted, but you can't allow yourself to be annoyed. So there was at least one guy that was a little bit annoyed. Wish he just would have moved, and we were very much out of the way. So, yeah, it could get a little distracting with all the kids flying around, glow sticks and whatnot, but there were times when the Ghost Jam would just grab you. As you're wanting to get distracted, then all of a sudden the music would kind of become the main event. Even if something visually was going on over here, you couldn't, the music was sort of undeniable. And that did happen in Ghost, so that's obviously good. That's good stuff, man. So I did have a lightsaber duel during the, there's like a couple of jumbo glow sticks ended on. A little girl challenged me. She handed me a weapon. She had her weapon. We had a little duel. And then it took me a minute to catch on. Whenever she would catch me, finally, most of my moves were just defensive, I hadn't had a chance to go on the aggression yet. And then I realized once she was striking me, about the 3rd time, I realized I was supposed to fall over and die and drop my weapon. Game over. Boom. F Zappa 20, dead on the lawn. Thank you, guys.